Fit in 10 Nation, it is day 68, and I realize I still have tons of questions to go through, so I'm going to get right to it. But just quickly, if you have not booked your scan, please do so ASAP. www.calendly.com/trainonmain. All right, and I will post the reminders of what you ought to not do or do prior to the scan, okay? All right, let's get right to questions here. Okay, so this person says to me, I was busy the entire week with my virtual conference, working 21-hour days with average 3 to 4 hours sleep per day. A couple of days where I had 1.5 hours of sleep just to make it out to the gym. I need to focus on resting this week for my body to recover. Wow, do you ever? Okay, 21 hours. That's insane. Multiple days? That's insane. Name something specific you need help with. Help with flow. I'm not sure if I'm doing in the gym exercise correctly when I'm alone. In the videos, can you maybe explain which body parts it works out? Yes, I can do that. I realized that as other people were saying their butt is sore, but I felt no soreness in the butt while doing Bulgarians. Okay, so there are certain movements where you may not feel as much emphasis as somebody else. Now, this may be due to, I'll tell you what it's probably due to. It's probably due to, I mean, it could be your positioning, but probably more than anything, it's the muscles that you have a better innervation towards. You have a better feeling towards certain muscles. So there may be an exercise, for example, like a Bulgarian, where you're going to be using your quadriceps and your glutes, but you don't have a very good connection. You don't have a very good neurological connection to the bum. You can't contract your bum as well as you can contract your quadriceps. And so consequently what happens is your quads just end up taking over. I guarantee you this is what's happening. So there's a few like minor adjustments you can make when you're doing the exercise. But on top of all of that, you want to think about trying to connect that area. So if you can think about squeezing your bum, okay, like I don't mean like squeezing your bum actually, but I mean like, just trying to activate it. Like, so if you're sitting here if you're sitting down or whatever you're doing when I'm doing this video, maybe you're standing, just try to squeeze your bum, okay? So try to do that when you do the movement. I mean, I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, like you should, and this is where like kinesiology, the study of movement and what muscles get worked is not always the case. It's not always the case that the muscles that are indicated on a certain movement really get enough emphasis. Okay, they're going to get emphasized if you can, force them to contract. It's not always that the movement is going to give you, 100% usage of that muscle. Okay, or let's just say a lot of usage of that muscle. Okay, so in the case of your Bulgarians, I bet you feel it in your quads, and I bet you told me you didn't feel it in your glutes. This is common. Okay, so why don't I just talk about that specifically in terms of positioning. You want to make sure that your foot is far enough out in front of you and that you sit back into the movement so that you're not creating more than 90 degrees of a bend in your knee, so no more than this at the knee. Okay, so this is your tibia, your lower leg, this is your upper leg. You're not creating any more than 90 degrees of a bend, so you're standing up, you come down, standing up, come down. So you're sitting back into it. Also make sure you drive through your heel. And think about what I just told you earlier, trying to squeeze your bum as hard as you can, okay, on that working side. Okay, how important is doing intervals? My heart rate is at the same the entire 30 minutes I'm doing my cardio at a faster pace and not slowing down. Okay, well your heart rate should not be at the same rate. I mean, it should be going up and down. Now, that being said, when you start your intervals, your heart rate should go up, obviously, because you're working at a higher intensity. But because the duration between the intervals is not that long, it's only 40 seconds, from first interval to the end, yes, you may not see a huge change in your heart rate. You should see your heart rate start to drop down in that 40 seconds, but then it's just going to go right back up, right? So you're doing the 20 seconds hard, and then you're doing the 40 seconds, easier. So you should see it. Now, how important is it? Well, the idea here is to really push yourself and then allow yourself a break, and then really push yourself and then allow yourself a break. Why is this important? Well, essentially what we're trying to do here is just to really elevate the heart rate, okay, for that period of time, to really chew through some calories. You can't. It's obviously the intensity that I'm asking you to do. You can't sustain that for minutes on end. So this is the whole point, right? It's about going really, really hard, elevating your heart rate, burning more calories, okay, going a little bit more what we call glycolytic, so you're burning through more carbohydrates in the muscle, more blood sugar, I should say, and pushing your body, okay, pushing your limitations. So it is important, all right. Is it better, or should I try to reach my lower heart rate? No, you don't have to reach your lower heart rate. You won't reach your lower heart rate. So the idea here is, just like I've always said from the beginning, your warm-up intensity is what you will do on your down phase of your intervals. Okay, so I'll say that again. Your warm-up intensity, I mean, I feel like it's a bit late at this point, but your warm-up intensity is going to be what you're going to be doing, the same intensity as that, in between your intervals, in between those 20 seconds of high intensity. Okay, hopefully that helps you. Next question here. Okay, so this person says my current... Okay, no, forget it. That's just something specific they want to improve upon. Okay, question. How often should you do ab workouts? How often should you do ab workout of a 7-day period? Okay, so your abs are just like any other muscle group. They do require some recuperation. Maybe not quite the same as a muscle that's more fast twitch based. So I would say you could do ab work maximum every second day. Okay, now let's be more specific here. You could do something like a crunch or a knee tuck, or any of the ab work that we do off the floor. You could do that maybe say once or twice a week, and then another once or twice per week you could do something like a plank, and that's going to be more of the deeper underlying musculature, more of the core musculature, if you want to call it. From the planks, the more superficial muscles that you when you're doing things like hanging ab work or ab work off the floor, you're getting more of your superficial musculature, the muscles that you can see. Okay, and so these don't play as much of a role in maintaining control and stability through your midsection as the deeper musculature that you hit when you're doing things like planks. Okay, but you can even activate a lot of your deeper musculature of your abdomen just by, when you're going through the day and you're reaching out for something, or you're lifting up something high, or even just walking around the house, you can think about just trying to pull your belly in and hold tight. Okay, so and that's going to be working your transverse, those deeper muscles that provide you with more support. Okay, now that's not to say that those superficial muscles, your abdominals, your intercostals, your serratus, your obliques, that's not to say that those muscles don't play a role. They certainly play a role. Okay, just maybe not quite as much. So every second day, so if you did like a Monday ab work off the floor, then maybe Wednesday some planks, and then Friday more ab work off the floor, etc. Something like that, that would be reasonable. 3 times a week is plenty. If I combine ab work with my cardio, should I do it before or after? I'd probably do it afterwards. Just do it when you're warm. All right, how am I doing for time here? Already 10 minutes? Holy man, I only answered like 3 questions. Okay, rest of the day. I got still a lot of questions to go through, so I may have to make a long video, maybe the last video of the day. I've never actually had, the questions you guys are putting in, or the feedback that I'm getting, gets better and better every challenge. Even though a lot of you have not put in your feedback the last couple weeks. All right, where am I here? Okay, message of the day. Are you ready for the message of the day? The message of the day is this. You're as happy as you allow yourself to be. No one else is in control of how you view the world and your life. Your happiness is up to you. And this is a hard one for a lot of people. I listen, this is not something that's necessarily easy for me. But, it really is how you decide to view the world. And I don't know if many of you know this or if I've mentioned this, but, Martina is from a very... she was born and raised in a highly impoverished country, the country of Cameroon, in Western Africa. And, most people who live there live in poverty. And they are among the happiest people on the planet. So it is really interesting how, in that case, you see that type of thing, because you can only imagine that if you or I were in that situation, I think we'd probably be miserable. And yet, with everything we have, so many people are still miserable, which goes to show you that I guess it has nothing to do with what you have, but more like this message says, your decision to be happy, which is weird when you think about it, right? You think happiness is a decision, but it really is a decision. And sometimes it's just a matter of looking at what you have, which I remind you guys, and I remind myself all the time. I have to do, nothing, I lecture you guys, or maybe it sounds like I'm lecturing you on this, but, this is really this applies to me just as much as it applies to you, or maybe it applies more to me, who knows. But in any event, it's a good reminder, right? So you're as happy as you allow yourself to be. No one else is in control of how you view the world and your life. Your happiness is up to you. That is it. This video is getting super long. So I will say, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. I dropped my clicker here. Day 68, you guys. Book your scan if you haven't already. I'll see you soon.